These two mistakes are killing your sales process. Many times, sales professionals and non-sales professionals, people who are selling for their first time or are new to sales, make two mistakes that make it incredibly difficult for your prospect to say yes to what you're offering or selling. And in making these mistakes, you don't really leave yourself a contingency plan. There's really not a backup plan. Once you've made these two mistakes, your prospect now looks at you, has gained the information they've needed, and has made the decision to either work with you or not work with you. And many times they decide not to work with you. And here's the mistakes that are being made. The first mistake is we are, as a sales professional and new sales rep, one of the biggest things is they rush their own agenda. They rush to the punchline. They accelerate the sales process based on their own needs and wants and demands. This could be based on your desire to hit quota. This could be based on your desire to earn commission before month end. This could be based on your desire, you're struggling financially. You need to close the deal. So sales professionals and new people to sales will get in a conversation with the prospect. They start having a great dialogue and they rush to the punchline. They rush to the closing questions. They rush to get to the end of the game. That's a big mistake. It's actually a lethal mistake. It kills your process because if you rush to get to your own agenda, which is, will you do business with me? Will you buy my product or service? Can I count on you for this? Whatever other closing questions you have. If you rush to get there and you haven't made the conversation personal and you haven't did the correct discovery process, you can't recover from that. You go all the way to the end and your prospect looks at you and says, okay, you're only here for your own agenda. So when you rush in a sales meeting to get to the end to cover things that are on your agenda, you literally have told the prospect, I don't care about what you have to say. That's what you say. So in discovering, here's how we fix that mistake, right? When you sit down with a potential client, you have to ask yourself this question before you start the meeting. How will this person's life be enhanced when this meeting is over? And if the only answer you have is their enhancement only exists by signing up for my product, service, or widget, then you're not doing a good sales process. If the only reason that their lives are better is because you sold them something, then I'm sorry, that's not the answer. If you sit in the beginning of your sales appointment and you say, how can I enhance the quality of life or how can I enhance this person's life when we're done with our presentation? Are they better educated? Are they aware of potential mistakes that they're making? Are they aware of ways to save money, time, productivity? Are they overall in a better mood, right? There's a lot of ways you can enhance the quality of life of the person in front of you. You do realize your prospect likes to talk about themselves. One of the oldest sales techniques is allowing people to speak about themselves. If you rush to sell something, you don't give your prospect the opportunity to speak about themselves. So before you rush into closing that next deal, ask yourself these questions. How will this person's life be enhanced by the end of the sales appointment? And just ask yourself that. One of the things that really helps preventing rushing those things is having a checks and balance system. So when I am in a sales presentation, I legit have a pen and paper or an iPad with a note ready. I have check marks of things I want to ensure that I discuss. Now, that's not always feasible because there's times you might find yourself in an impromptu sales presentation over coffee, over dinner, over a drink. You have to take a step and make those mental check marks of saying, have I found out what's important to this person? Have I found out what's hurting this person? Have I found out the problem this person is having? Have I found out how important this problem is? How expensive this problem is? There's a lot of ways to go through it. So on your next sales call, don't rush to get to the end. The second mistake you're making in your sales presentation that is killing the opportunity to close the deals is we're not personalizing our sales process. This is really important in the aspect of if you have a standard product or service you sell and you repeat the sales presentation over and over and over again, you're going to get really good at it. Just by default, by the pure number of reps you put in talking about your product, talking about your process, talking about your services, you will get better. The mistake you make is you don't do that extra homework to make the conversation personalized. You don't do that extra homework to have it tailored to the person you're speaking to. A lot of this goes into what we call the pre-call plan, where we're planning in advance what we're going to say based on the information we have at that moment. So if you start your sales process very generalized, very standard, cookie cutter, your prospect is going to know you didn't do any research to be in front of me. One of the things I teach in the Catapult to Commission sales strategy is, can you share a personal story before you ask for business? And if I could share a personal story that indicates to the prospect that I've done my homework on them, and also I am human just like them, the likelihood of them purchasing is significantly more. So if we don't take the time to personalize our conversation with our prospect, we are doing ourselves an injustice. We are actually wasting time for our prospects. And here's how you personalize your conversation. A lot of what we ask during a sales process, we should already know the answers to. So perfect example. I had a sales rep recently sit to try to sell me something. Sat there and said, "So, tell me, what do you do for a living?" I chuckled because had this prospect Googled my name, you could tell what I do for a living. Same scenario. If you're going to sit down with a person and you're going to try to sell them something, you can Google, Facebook search, Instagram search, LinkedIn search, Twitter search, TikTok search. You can find what this person does for a living. You can find what's important to them. The more information you can learn online, the better equipped you are to have conversations. So take that time and learn about your prospect. Don't use the opportunity of speaking to your prospect to ask questions for answers that are already available online. This is huge in business-to-business sales. If you're a B2B sales rep and you're selling to another business and you go to the business and you finally get in front of the decision maker and you ask questions about that decision maker that are available online, that are available in the company bio, that are available in the executive bio, you have wasted an opportunity. So personalize your sales process. Do the research in advance. If you can start personalizing your sales process, and remember, do not rush your own agenda in your next sales presentation, the likelihood of you closing your next sale is significantly higher. That's what I got for you this week. I'm Anthony Garcia. This is Catapult to Commission Sales Blog. I'll see you next week. Oh, by the way, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedbacks. Talk with you soon.